Good morning. Thank you for joining me today. This morning we'll be in the Psalms and the Proverbs. In Psalms chapter 7, verses 1 through 17. O Lord, my God, in you I have taken shelter. Deliver me from all those who chase me. Rescue me. Otherwise they will rip me to shreds like a lion. They will tear me to bits, and no one will be able to rescue me. O Lord my God, if I have done what they say, or am guilty of unjust actions, or have wronged my ally, or helped his lawless enemy, may an enemy relentlessly chase me and catch me. May he trample me to death, and leave me lying dishonored in the dust. Selah. Whoops. Stand up angrily, Lord. Rise up with raging fury against my enemies. Wake up for my sake, and execute the judgment you have decreed for them. The countries are assembled all around you. Take once more your rightful place over them. The Lord judges the nations. Vindicate me, Lord, because I am innocent, because I am blameless. Exalted One. May the evil deeds of the wicked come to an end, but make the innocent secure. O righteous God, you who examine inner thoughts and motives. The exalted God is my shield, the one who delivers the morally upright. God is a just judge. He is angry throughout the day. If a person does not repent, God sharpens his sword and prepares to shoot his bow. He prepares to use deadly weapons against him. He gets ready to shoot flaming arrows. See the one who is pregnant with wickedness, who conceives destructive plans and gives birth to harmful lies. He digs a pit and then falls into the hole he has made. He becomes the victim of his own destructive plans, and the violence he intended for others falls on his own head. I will thank the Lord for his justice. I will sing praises to the sovereign God. Yeah, the psalmist implores God to rescue him, because if God doesn't rescue him, then he doesn't have any hope. His enemies accuse him of something that he hasn't done. O Lord my God, if I have done what they say, or am guilty of unjust actions. In 7:5, may an enemy relentlessly chase me and catch me. He cries to the Lord for justice. 7:8, vindicate me, Lord, because I am innocent, because I am blameless, O exalted one. God is a just judge. He is angry throughout the day. Yeah, and certainly humanity provides more than enough for God to be angry about. The verbiage in 7:14, the one who is pregnant with wickedness, reminds me a lot of James chapter 1, where oh my oh, this is discouraging. I can't remember it this morning. Yeah. Let no one say when he is tempted, I'm being tempted by God. For God cannot be tempted by evil, and he himself tempts no one. But each one is tempted when he is lured and enticed by his own desires. Then when desire conceives, it gives birth to sin, and when sin is fully grown, it gives birth to death. Yeah. Yeah, do not be led astray, my dear brothers and sisters. All generous giving and every perfect gift is from above, coming down from the Father of lights, with whom there is no variation or the slightest hint of change. This is in contrast to the plans of the wicked. where he digs a pit and then falls into the hole he has made. He becomes the victim of his own destructive plans, and the violence he intended for others falls on his own head. Yeah. Let's see what Guzik has to say here. Let the enemy pursue me and overtake me. David knew that his enemies were thirsty for his defeat. He was so confident in his righteousness in comparison to his enemies that he was willing to be given over to their desire if they were in the right. Arise, O Lord, in your anger. David believed that God was a being of human-like passions, such as anger. David also believed that the passions of God were on his behalf. He believed God was or would be angry for him instead of against him. It is a mistake to believe that God is without passions because he is God. We can say that these passions are not exactly like their human counterparts, yet they are certainly somewhat like them. God is not cold, distant, and dispassionate. Yet it is also a mistake to assume that the passions of God are always with us or support our opinion. Many dangerous fanatics have been wrongly inspired by the mistaken assurance that God was for them when he was not. Yeah. Let the wickedness of the wicked come to an end, but establish the just. This reveals more of the heart of David's prayer. More than anything, he prayed for God to be just. David did not pray for special favoritism with God. He prayed for God to be just, and he searched his own heart to help put him right before God. God is a just judge. David's prior appeal to God's testing of man made him think of the justice of God. He declared this fundamental principle: God is a just judge. This is a commonly and dangerously rejected truth about God. Many anticipate that they will one day stand before a God of great love, great mercy, great warmth, and great generosity. They never imagine they will stand before a God who is perfectly just and who cannot ignore the crime of sin. And I had heard an analogy recently that brought this into the light, in that say I'm a judge and I'm presiding over a case where someone's young child gets murdered. If I say to the criminal, "No, go free. You've done nothing wrong. All is forgiven," type thing, I'm treating their young child as if they're worthless, type thing, and I don't care for them at all. God, on the other hand, cares for all of us deeply, and it's because he cares that, well, yeah, God is just, and because he cares for us, he has to be just. So. We can say that sin is a crime, that it breaks the good and holy law of God, and while all sins are not equally sinful, some sins are worse than others and will receive a greater condemnation, there are no small sins against a great God. The justice of God is easy to understand if we simply compare it to what we expect from an earthly judge. We don't think it is right or good if a human judge excuses crime in the name of compassion. We expect judges to be just. Yet many are absolutely confident that God will be an unjust judge on the day of judgment. They are so confident of it that they mistakenly rely on this idea for their salvation. David knew the truth. God is a just judge. Hmm. He will sharpen his sword. He bends his bow and makes it ready. David here considers the readiness of God to judge the sinner. David saw the sword sharpened and the bow bent. With God so ready to judge, the sinner should never presume that God will delay his judgment. When God delays judgment out of mercy, many people make a fatal error. They think this mercy means that God is not concerned with justice. The sword is sharpened and the bow is bent. The only thing that holds back the immediate judgment of God against the sinner is the undeserved mercy of God, giving the sinner an unknown period of time to repent. Such mercy should never be presumed upon. Behold, the wicked brings forth iniquity. This seemingly obvious statement is important. It shows that a wicked heart will show itself in wicked deeds. Those wicked deeds may have the cover of respectability, but will nonetheless be filled with iniquity. Fallen into the ditch which he made. This shows a common method of God's distribution of justice. He often brings the same calamity on the wicked that they had planned for the righteous. God is righteous. The way of wickedness cannot prosper. It creates its own destruction. The pit digged is the grave of the man who digs it. His violent dealing shall come down on his own crown. Two examples of this among many in the Bible are the fate of Haman, the enemy of Mordecai and the Jews, and the enemies of Daniel in the lion's den. Yeah, Haman was hung upon the gallows that he prepared for Mordecai, and the enemies of Daniel tossed him into the lion's den, but after he survived that ordeal, they were tossed in instead. And I will sing praise to the name of the Lord Most High. David ended this psalm, which began in gloom, on a high note of praise. He could praise because he took his cause to God, and in faith left it there. Carrying on, Proverbs chapter 2, verses 1 through 5. My child, if you receive my words and store up my commands within you, by making your ear attentive to wisdom, and by turning your heart to understanding. Indeed, if you call out for discernment, raise your voice for understanding. If you seek it like silver, and search for it like hidden treasure, then you will understand how to fear the Lord, and you will discover knowledge about God. Yeah, it's important to actually pursue wisdom. Wisdom can never benefit us if it is not received and treasured. Accept, receive is parallel with store up, a figure that implies that most teaching cannot be used immediately, but that some time will pass before education's effects are felt. Treasure my commands within you. God's intention is that you and I make his wisdom our own. We are to learn it from the Bible. Nobody is to know it in our stead. Pastors are charged by God with helping us to grow, but we must make his word ours so as to keep it with us. The one who pursues wisdom in this way will not be disappointed, but the search must be serious, strenuous. The way of wisdom is never revealed to triflers. If you seek her as silver, with the same unwearied diligence and earnest desire and patient expectation under all delays, disappointments, and difficulties, which worldlings use in the purchase of riches, or in digging in mines of silver. From Clark. How do men seek money? What will they not do to get rich? Reader, seek the salvation of thy soul as earnestly as the covetous man seeks wealth, and be ashamed of thyself if thou be less in earnest after the true riches than he is after perishing wealth. Then you will understand the fear of the Lord. Solomon established the principle that the fear of the Lord is the beginning of knowledge and wisdom. Here he teaches us that without the effort to seek out wisdom, we will lack in our fear of the Lord and knowledge of God. Yeah. Okay, well, thank you so much for joining me today. Hope you have a great day.